Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I'm using my phone lately to do my broadcasts, and didn't have it on Do Not Disturb, and a call that was really important came through, which is why I didn't have it on Do Not Disturb. So, a thousand pardons, but it was unavoidable. Anyway, guys, yeah. So, I'm going to repeat what I just said, and then we'll get into this energy check. Again, last night I did have to cut the reading short for those of you who either I refunded or for those of you who I didn't even see a payment from until today. We'll do you tonight at 9 o'clock. I'll take care of you guys, and I'll make sure and be a little rested for that. I just have a couple personals to do, but I'm going to get those done this afternoon. So, as you were, and as I was, what I came on to do this morning, aside from talk to all of you lovely, beautiful soul family people, is to do an energy check-in. I get a lot of requests for this, and sometimes I've just got too much going on, but I really want to do an energy check-in on these divine partnerships, see what's going on, where it's at, and get a real feel for you guys as far as where these divine masculine and divine feminine energies are at, okay? Because I am shifting my focus back to the twin soul journey right now. I'm starting a class. Hey, Sparky, speaking of the class. And really looking forward to all that entails for me, for you, for all of us. So what we're going to do, which is going to be super fun, is do a little twin soul, divine masculine, divine feminine energy check-in. Basically what this is for, the reason people do these collective energy check-ins and what it's for is basically if you are someone who identifies as being a part of that soul collective and on that journey, depending on what sort of wave you identify as being in, and you are in a separation. I usually am looking at the wave that's in separation on a path toward union. There's a largest wave this is all information which has been intuitively, told to us, but it's also what you need to understand is it's information that is, I believe, pretty accurate, but it also does get more and more expounded upon. So right now, from the understanding is there's a large group, the largest wave yet, and possibly the final wave of twin souls on the path toward union at this time. Now, let's see, for those on that path, we're going to look at the masculine and the feminine energies, right, the oversouls, and see what the current collective energy is for those souls, because it is among the people on that journey. These souls are experiencing very similar things. Now, do those things manifest differently in the 3D for each soul, each individual? Of course they do. They're not going to look exactly the same through your own eyes. But I'm telling you, you can take it to the bank, guys, that if we're talking about energy, when we talk about a collective energy update, whether we're talking about for the masculine or the feminine, energetically, this will resonate for you or for them, depending on which side you're on, from an energetic perspective. It will look differently to all of us through our own eyes in the 3D, but it will resonate energetically, and that's important, right? That's important. So keep that in mind. All right, so what I want to do is we're going to start with the Animal Spirit Oracle cards. Good morning, Knight Rider. Remember the show Knight Rider in the 1980s with the talking car? I thought that was the coolest car. What was the name of that car? Kit 7 or something? Knight Rider. What was the name of the car in Knight Rider, guys? Does anyone remember? God, I loved that show when I was a little kid. I also loved Knight Rider, and I loved the Dukes of Hazzard. Do you guys remember the Dukes of Hazzard? I used to tell my mom, my parents would drive me back and forth from Orlando to Jacksonville because they were divorced and they lived in separate cities. And so I split my time between two cities. And when they would be driving me on like I-4 or I-95 back and forth, I used to tell them, drive like the Dukes of Hazzard. Because the Dukes of Hazzard were some crazy drivers. I loved the way they drove that little car. Okay. Rebel was the name of the car. All right. It was Kit, Justine says, yep, Kit. Kit, my brother's name. Okay, so it was Kit. I thought it was like Kit and then a number, like Kit 7 or something. I don't know why. Valerie, I agree. Yes. Valerie says it's been tough. It's been emotional. 100%. Listen, I agree with you. That's why, Valerie, this energy is okay with me. Cool. Good, Darcy. And that's what I'm going to talk. We're going to talk about that. Here's the thing. This is why, from the divine masculine, divine feminine perspective, the way it looks through your own eyes, it may not look the same, but the energy is going to be very similar. And then we're going to get into why you experience similar energies in different ways. Because, see, what happens is, Darcy, for example, is a Scorpio. Valerie, I know you have a lot of Virgo in there. I don't remember what all of your placements are, but I know you've told me you have Virgo. So Virgo and Scorpio are very different signs. So you have two very different major placements, the two of you. So where Darcy says, I'm okay with this energy, I don't mind this energy I'm experiencing right now. That doesn't mean one of you is on a twin soul divine partnership journey and the other one is not. What it means is, through your major placements, one of you is experiencing a lot of pain right now, and the other one, whilst going through the same energetic experiences, or at least similar energetic experiences, is like, yeah, this feels about right. Because Scorpios are much more finely tuned to handle pain than Virgos. That's just the truth. And I'm a Virgo. I can tell you, Virgos, we are high-strung creatures. We are high-strung creatures that do not deal well with emotional pain. We don't. So that's just a fact of life for us. Okay? No, we don't. We do not. We're used to it. We're accustomed to it, right? But we don't handle it so well, usually. Not so well. Okay. Virgos are, as a Virgo, our automatic response to discomfort, emotional pain, that type of thing, is to hide. Literally to hide, like to run and hide under the covers. Why? I don't know. That's what feels natural to us, is to go and hide, to close. Like, rather than dealing with something uncomfortable, my gut it would be much more reflexive for me to turn my phone off than to deal with something that wasn't pleasant with another person. It would be a much more comfortable response for me to just turn my phone off, and feel very natural to me. Nothing against whoever the person is. That's just what feels normal to me as a Virgo, is to just push away. Go back up, please. That's why when a Virgo, I will tell you guys though, when a Virgo does love you and is willing to open their life to you, that's very special, because Virgos, we much prefer the hermit mode. But that's just an example of how it can be very different energies. The same energy, not very different energies, the same energetic experience, but through your own filter, your own star placement, astrological filter, how you experience that energy can be very different, right? So let's see what we've got here for the masculines and feminines. Ray Taurus. Taurus, I don't know, I'm not a Taurus, I don't have a specific thing to say about Taurus. I was just using the Virgo Scorpio as an example. Yeah, I'm Virgo Sun, Gemini Ascendant, Cancer Moon, Leo in relationships. I mean, in Leo in Venus. Well, Leos are very social creatures. For a Leo, it would not be anything to be very social, but it would be something that would be very common amongst a Leo personality, someone who's all the way Leo, would be to be very social, but also to kind of expect people to reach out to you. So the Leo, that very regal Leo energy, which can come across as a little bit arrogant, would be very social and very outgoing, but you might not be so much reaching out to the other people as a Leo. You just it's almost like that Emperor Aries energy, kind of expecting people to come to you as a Leo. So that can be problematic sometimes. Okay, so what we're going to do, guys, is I just want to get a good energy check in here for the masculine and feminines. And this, oh, that's not the ones I was looking for. Hold on. I want my animal spirit. Major Scorpio spouse. I don't know that I could be married to a Scorpio. I have my grandmother's a Scorpio. And because I live with her at this point in time, I just don't know if I don't know. I love her. I love her to death. Literally. No, I'm just kidding. Valerie's like, yeah, me neither. And I am. Okay. So let's see here. Thank you, universe. Thank you, source. Thank you, spirit, angels, archangels, spirit guides, ancestors. I love you guys, Scorpios. I have so much love for you, but thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Archangels Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, Uriel. That Michael, he's a character. Okay, so let's see. Show us what's going on with the collective here. We'd like masculine, feminine, and connection. 3 cards, please. Thank you. Masculine. Feminine, please. Whoa. Feminines, y'all's on fire. The feminines are on fire right now. Something's going on. And then the connection, ooh, snake spirit. Okay. Well, the connection is represented by the snake spirit today. So the first impression that I get when I see a connection like this being represented by the snake spirit, that's a miraculous energy. You know, serpents, snakes, they represent the miraculous. They definitely represent the divine and human, the divine in the flesh, incarnation of the divine. So the reason I say that is because it's the condescending of yourself, the condescending to become incarnate. The serpent has to sort of slither and crawl on the ground. But it is an energy of constant change, constant improvement, right? Shedding the skin. It's also a miraculous energy. Snakes do represent miracles in the esoteric world. So what I would say is just the fact that the overall connection right now is getting the snake spirit card says that these twin soul relationships, no matter how hopeless they may seem at this time, the last thing a twin soul connection ever is hopeless. It's filled with hope because the essence of it is the soul's essence. And so there's nothing but hope there. This is card number 55. We've got major changes, miracles in the forefront, on the horizon. I also do see that, you know, it says on this card, I don't know if you can see that, a time to heal. This feels like miraculous healing. This doesn't feel like natural healing. Now, what healing is really natural? You know, when you look at, if you have a cut on your hand, people who have certain health problems, that cut doesn't heal properly. If you were a diabetic and you maybe had some other health problems, that cut may never heal. And it may turn to gangrene, you know. And for someone who is healthy in mind, body, and spirit, that cut may heal very quickly. Is that natural? Is it miraculous? Or is it both, right? What I'm talking about here is the time to heal. The miraculous is what we're talking about in this connection, not the natural. Although, except in as much as the miraculous is natural, there are going to be miraculous healings that take place in these connections that you may have never seen coming, that you may have felt were actually hopeless. And they are happening in very natural ways, but because you and I don't understand the nature of them, to us, we would identify them as being miraculous. So that's a beautiful thing to think about. Yeah, bring on the miracles, right? Now, as far as the masculine and feminine energies, very earthy energies on both sides, guys. You've got, for the masculine, you've got the antelope spirit. Life is speeding up. Now, the masculine, what's interesting about the masculine is he was running. The masculine was running away from this connection. What's the masculine doing now? Running toward the connection. The masculine, and remember, keep in mind, guys, this is energetic. We're not talking about literal, physical. We're talking about energetic. So I touched on this, it may have been yesterday, I don't remember, but the masculine is actually, although under the, it's kind of like if you're any of you who were raised Catholic, like I was, what is transubstantiation? Transubstantiation is the moment when the priest repeats the words of Christ, which turns the bread and wine into the body and blood of Christ. Transubstantiation means that although to our physical eyes, it still maintains the appearance of bread and wine, in actuality, it is no longer bread and wine. It is body and blood of Christ under the appearance of bread and wine. What this is that type, it's like transubstantiation. Although to our human naked eye, the masculine has the appearance of running from the connection, in reality, although under the appearance of running from the connection, the masculine is actually running toward the connection. He's just making a long loop. He's making a long loop. And you know, when you make a long loop, it looks like you're running away from something until you turn the corner when you're actually running back toward it. That's what's happening here. That's what the masculine's doing. And if you don't believe that, that's okay. You don't have to believe that. That's what's here. That's what I feel. And that's what's happening. Untie knots. There you go. So that's a really interesting thing. And it does say, the card says life is speeding up. What's happening is life is speeding up. We're all experiencing life slowed down right now, right? Quarantine, working from home, you know, social distancing. It feels like life is slowing down, but what's actually happening is life is slowing down in order to speed up. And I think most people hear me say that and they know intuitively that that's true. It may scare you a little bit, but you know intuitively that that makes sense and that's true, because it is. Life is actually speeding up, even though it looks like it's slowing down. Well, that's the same thing with what's happening in this connection. I don't know what that's about. I don't understand the reason for something to appear one way, but to be actually happening another. But that's the best thing from childhood that I know to compare it to, is the transubstantiation of the Eucharist at Mass. You know, that they tell you, well, it may look like bread and wine, but once those bells are rung and those words are invoked, it's no longer bread and wine. Same thing with this connection, okay? Whether you believe it or not. And that's the same thing that the priests and all that at the Catholics say. It doesn't really matter whether you believe it or not. This is a faith-based topic. They believe, therefore it is. So whether I sit in the row and go, well, I don't believe that really changes from bread and wine to anything else, the answer to that is, well, it doesn't matter if you believe it. We're telling you and we know it. And that's, I'm not saying I agree with that, but I'm saying that I do know that that applies to this masculine energy. It doesn't matter what you think you're seeing. It doesn't matter what you think you're experiencing. This is what's actually happening. Quickly. Now, what's really interesting, guys, thank you for the love, those of you who are donating. Thank you so much. What's really interesting, guys, is on the feminine side, you've got the coyote spirit. When this card came out, I said, okay, guys, the feminine's on fire. And the reason I said that is, it may not be the way that you normally think of a feminine energy getting like I don't see a lot of feminines out there that are like, you know, ready to go buck wild. I don't feel that type of energy, but I feel a blossoming happening. It's sort of like a late springtime blossoming. What's happening here is, it's a coming of age story for the divine feminine, okay? This says trust in divine detours. What number is it? Card number 16. That breaks down to a 7. I love sevens. I see a lot of 7. I was born in 77. Sevens are, again, numbers of holy numbers of completion, and they're also numbers that allow for miracles. And I love miracles. I love an underdog story. I love a comeback story. I love people that go through toil and torments and get torn apart only to come back together, a reunion. I love that stuff. I think that's what makes life on earth worth living, those type of stories. This is a story for the divine feminine about coming of age, and it does have a lot of hermit energy to it. So if you're a divine feminine and you've been spending a lot of time trying to replace the masculine in your life because of a separation, you need to know something. That person is not replaceable. Like, you can't, If you are one of the rare individuals on a true twin soul journey, you can't replace someone that is the mirror to your soul. That can't be replaced. And attempting to replace that will only bring you frustration, and a lot of disappointment. And it's okay, because you know what? The truth is, when you really get down to it, you don't want to replace that energy, because there really is only one person who fits that role, who fills that spot, and that's kind of how it should be. You will feel the darkness attack you. I can tell you, hand to the divine, the darkness attacks true twin souls. People get ideas in their head to come after that relationship in the weirdest ways. I've experienced it and I've seen it for other people. The darkness will attack the relationship. Part of the beauty of that, it's like gold tested in a furnace. It's like, what's the Japanese, there's an actual art in Japan when things are broken, bowls or china, when it's broken, instead of trying to repair it so that you can't see the flaw or the place where it cracked, instead of doing it that way, using like invisible glue, they use gold that's very shiny and like very, almost like a Rust-Oleum looking gold. And I can't remember what it's called. There's a name for this art. But the reason that the Japanese do this is because they believe that the cracks and the things that it's that thing or that piece of that plate, that bowl, whatever has experienced, those things make it more beautiful. The same goes for this relationship. The painful experiences here, right? The painful experiences here, the separations, all of that pain is like the golden glue that brings it back together. So it doesn't look like, when it breaks, it's not being broken to be broken. It's being broken to be made more beautiful, right? When it's put back together. Because once it's put back together, then it's not the original piece. It's something better than the original piece, because now it's the original piece with gold inlays that put it back together. So what's happening in this connection, that's sort of the miraculous thing that when I look at the snake spirit card for you guys, those of you on a true twin soul journey, that's the miraculous part about it, is as this beautiful connection that's really just love, it's just pure and true love. And as it's healed, because although the connection is pure and true love, the two individuals experiencing the connection, unfortunately, are human, and they make mistakes, and they hurt each other. They hurt themselves. They hurt each other. They don't love themselves properly. They don't love each other properly, but the love itself is perfect. And so when it's put back together, it's put back together with gold, so that the flaws do show, but they're no longer, not only do the flaws show, they're not even considered flaws anymore. They're considered pieces that make the whole greater than the sum, right? It makes it more beautiful and increases what? Its value. Gold, the gold standard, it increases its value. That's really special, and I want you guys to think about that when you're in a place of separation from someone you really love, and it feels very painful and difficult to experience. Keep in mind, where you are now and where you're going to be are not one and the same. Where you feel like you are and where you actually are also not one and the same, and that the actual breaking apart is allowing for the connection to become stronger, more beautiful, and more valuable. So that's really nice. All right, we're going to pull, is it kintsugi? I think it's something else, Jasmine. I've heard of it. I know, I'll recognize it when I see it. I don't think that's the term I'm looking for. I'm sure that's an accurate term, but that's not the term I'm thinking of. No, not wabi-sabi. It's something else. Somebody Google it. Japanese art of using gold to restore broken objects. Look it up for me. Somebody Google it. It's one word. No, it's not kintsugi. Is it kintsugi? I don't think that doesn't fit. Spirit origami. Well, it kind of is spirit origami if you think about it. I mean, that makes sense. But no, that's not it either. Spirit origami. It's happening as we speak, Darcy, as we speak. It's literally happening as we speak. The closeness never goes anywhere. The intimacy doesn't break. The experience changes, but the intimacy never breaks. Let's see what the message is from the... Okay, everybody says it's kintsugi, so I'm going to trust you guys, but that doesn't seem like that's what it is. Okay. Beauty way. It is kintsugi. I trust that it is. For some reason, it just doesn't. It's not. My mind doesn't recognize that word, but that must be what it is. I trust. Okay, so the current energy is the owl, and the owl for you guys. Definitely strong divine feminine energy. When you see the owl, this is a wisdom card, right? You know, the thing about the owl also is I feel like there's a message for some of you right now. And there is a message about it. There's this energy of something sort of being brought up. You've got the arrow pointing upward here. You've got the hummingbird and the beauty way. And you've also, in the beauty way, the dragonfly coming from the locust looks sort of like... it's a lot like a phoenix rising from the ashes, that image. I feel like what this looks like to me is there's a softness in the transitions that are happening here. You know, like Darcy was just saying, well, when does this actually happen? Well, it's happening now, and there's a softness to these transitions that what you're gonna feel is going to be a lot different than the way what you're experiencing. You're going to feel nudges. I mean, you know, I don't know how to describe, like if you ever are somebody who listens to ASMR, that sort of quiet, stimulated feeling you get listening to a certain type of voice, you will have moments of quiet stimulation when the thought of the connection comes into your mind. Those are like signposts on your way toward union. Those little moments of where throughout all... There you go, Steph. Steph got it this morning. You know what? I'm glad somebody knows what I'm talking about, because I'm sitting here saying this and I'm thinking you're not making sense. So what I'm saying is, throughout this experience, although there's pain, yeah, there's pain. I agree. Like, I completely agree. There is pain. But although there is pain throughout the experience, there are moments of utter peace, and not just utter peace, complete contentment and knowing, that complete contentment that comes from knowing that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and you're on a path that nobody else could understand except maybe people like us that just do understand because of the experience we're having. It's a beautiful thing. And you need to take those moments, because I've had moments like that in the strangest places, right? Where this peace comes over you. And I've had it where, like, I had one experience where it was definitely Archangel Michael showing me something. And it was just an assurance of, just don't worry. Just don't worry. Everything is being taken care of on your behalf, right? And when you remind yourself of that every little thing, the details are so important, but they're not your problem. It's not that the details don't matter, guys. The details are very important. Every detail matters, but they're not your problem. The details are being taken care of for you. Okay, so keep that in mind. The details are being taken care of for you, and this is a beautiful experience. The hummingbird, to me, is talking about those details, and how if you magnetize them, you would see just how important they are, but they're just that much out of your control as well, and not for you to worry about. You focus on the path you're on the next thing that presents itself into your consciousness, because if something's important enough to present itself to your consciousness, then it does need your thought. But a lot of these things that people in these connections, or really out of these connections, if you're in separation, are thinking about and dealing with, you don't need to think about and deal with. What you need to do is be looking for the wisdom in the situation, be looking for the messengers that come to you to give you peace, to give you knowing. And every time you get those moments we just talked about, you need to say thank you for them, because as you show gratitude for those moments and for those experiences of utter calm, peace, and knowing, you'll get more of them. It's that law of attraction that we have been told so much about, because it's one of our biggest, greatest strengths to use as human beings, is the law of attraction, the law of deliberate manifestation or deliberate creation. And that means that which you pay positive or negative attention to will grow. That which you are grateful for and show gratitude for, you will get more of. It will be more will be bestowed upon you. So show gratitude for the peace and the knowing, the inner wisdom, because if you show gratitude for that, you're going to have more of that coming to you, right? And I know all of you that are here listening to what we're doing right now, you're here because you want more understanding, you want more wisdom, you want more confirmation that you're not crazy, that what your heart has experienced was real and worth it, worth the effort, worth the pain, worth the experience. It is, and you just need to be grateful for where you are and be grateful for what's coming. Okay, so this looks pretty good. I like the message for the collective today, and I think it's pretty good. I've done all the earth sign. I've only got Virgo up, but all the earth signs are done. I need to put some readings up, and I'll be back tonight, guys. For those of you, like I said, who were not able to get your mini reading last night because I did sort of fade out, I'll be back at 9 o'clock tonight to do some more. So I think I've got a couple people on the list already. You're welcome to get on the list if you would like to for tonight. It's 2222, but I have a couple people from last night on the mini reading list, and I will get to you. I know Melanie is one. Faith, I refunded you, but if you want to put it back in, I will be on tonight at 9. I refunded you because I wasn't sure last night if I was going to be free to come back on. So I love it. I love it, Sparky. Do it. Thank you for all the love, you guys. Thank you for joining. There she is. Hey, Malia. Thank you for joining, you guys. Thank you for all the love. I hope this energy check really gave you guys some wisdom and some. Do it. Mindy, yes. I actually saw you came in at the end of the broadcast last night, and I didn't see you for some reason. Show up at 9 o'clock tonight, Mindy, and I'll do your mini reading, okay? Can you be there at 9 tonight, Eastern time? Eastern time, 9 o'clock. Thank you for all the love, you guys. Take care of yourself, love yourself, and love your life. I'll see you guys later.